talking now about moving day. So people describe moving day as being very overwhelming, very stressful. Shelley, I know you've recently done it.
I have.
It's not always the Pinterest dream that everyone wants it to be like at the end of
No.
moving day. What do you think overwhelms people the most on moving day?
I just think it's the stress and the amount of practical stuff that you've got to do. And it is overwhelming. You see your life in a number of boxes. I think I had nearly 100 boxes.
Wow.
And you see everything and you just think, how on earth is this going to work? You know, so, and we're focusing on moving day today, but let's not focus on the few days before moving day as well, when you're having to get boxes ready and wind down one house. You know, there's an awful lot to do, and it feels like it's all on you, even if you've got lots of people around you. The likelihood is you're the coordinator and manager of it all, and it's just such a life-wrenching activity, isn't it? So I think it's wrapped in emotion as well, depending on the reasons for moving. So is this a happy move, you're upsizing, you're having a baby, lovely, or like me, you're downsizing, closing down a chapter of your life and starting a new one? There's different emotions coming with different parts of that, really.
How did you pack up your house? Did you?
I had a packing service, and I would definitely recommend that. And it's one of these things that can feel a little bit self-indulgent. People were like, wow, you're really having that. It was a few £100s more, but there is no way that I could have done that on my own. Absolutely none. And even I had removal companies come round and say, this is going to take 3 men 4 days, you know. Okay,
Wow.
well then how could I do that on my own? And I just didn't want to live the last few days, weeks, months in my house with boxes everywhere, and that to be the last, you know, the wind down of that chapter. I wanted to enjoy it as long as we could, and then, you know, a blitz moving in a week, you know, so that's to do with my character and the way that I operate, of course, but
For sure.
definitely my preference.
Packing service, I absolutely agree with you. Our last move, we had a packing service, and we were obviously up early, ready to do. And I remember hanging out in my garden, literally twiddling my thumbs because they were doing everything. The adrenaline is there, but I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then going to the next house, so it was the weirdest feeling. You're like so active, but there was nothing to do actually at that point.
I think it depends how much creative space you've got as well. When you're unpacking, you don't know where everything is going to go, and you've got to have the space mentally and physically to do that, haven't you? All I'm thinking about is when I put the Christmas decorations up, I have to get last year's photos out now because I don't have enough headspace now for creativity in that respect. So I'm like, right, hang on, where did I put it last year? And I would have done that the year before and the year before, but in a new space, you've got to feel that out, haven't you? And go, oh, I'm just going to see where everything should be. So for those people who are watching, I don't think even we've really talked about this on our social media before, about what actually happens on completion day. So I think people imagine it's simple. The money goes through, you pick up the keys, you put it through the door, you have your fish and chips on the floor. That's what we always have done. But you actually can't get the keys until the final funds have been sent, received, confirmed by every solicitor in the chain. And that means your entire day actually depends on the bank transfer clearing, the solicitor checking the email, someone else's completion also happening smoothly, and a chain that you've never met moving at the same pace as you. So it's actually a waiting room. What do you think most people misunderstand about the completion process that we can clear up today so that people go into it open-eyed, get the most out of it?
I think the time.
I was going to say the timing, yeah,
I
for
know
sure.
they have conversations like, I'm going to pick up the keys in the morning. We're completing. I'm like,
No, you're not.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
And I can speak from my own experience, is I didn't get my keys till 4:30.
Oh, it's so late.
So late. And I remember having a conversation with the removals where they were like, if this don't come in the next half an hour, the call, we're going to either have to take all your stuff away in storage, you have to go pay overnight, or you pay overtime. And it's either fine, it is what it is, what you're going to do. But I think it's that misconception. So, we're moving in the morning.
No.
No. And we're just sitting on our new drive, just like, can you just open it? It's going to be ours. So, yeah, I think that's a huge misconception. Probably the biggest, I think, or I find in my conversations.
Have you had any of your clients where they've had to sleep in the moving van, or they could have got a hotel, but they've actually not completed and had to stay with the moving van?
It's not my personal client, but I know there was a couple, or a family, should I say, where it didn't. Their previous home went through, but the one they purchased didn't. And all their stuff, because the delivery drivers said, "You're going to be moving soon, we'll just unpack it." And it was all on the drive.
Wow.
So yeah, they left it all on the drive.
That is so stressful.
And then had to, luckily, the previous owners were kind enough to let them in, but it was a very mad, quick dash. So yeah, it's not my personal client, but I know of a story that did happen.
So because of that, some people choose, I've chosen before, that first night is just get the keys. I put the Christmas tree out in my current house because it was the 11th of December, and get some fish and chips, just get acquainted to the house. But of course, I've never moved now that I have children and a family. And what does that look like now? Do you get the luxury of going, we'll just have the fish and chips night one and we'll properly move in?
No, well, I certainly didn't.
No,
I certainly
I
didn't.
didn't.
No, because like Jade, I didn't get the keys until gone 4 o'clock, and I had a couple of removal vans, and the men are bringing all the stuff in, and they were still bringing stuff in at gone 10 o'clock, and I've been up since 6 that day in that angsty day of, drama all day long, and I just sort of one of my friends kindly rang me in the morning and said, are you having the children looked after today? And I hadn't even thought about it. And I said, they've asked me to be here, but I don't feel like it's worth it, So she took them for the day and thankfully fed them. So when they did come back, it started to resemble a home. The sofa was in the right place, their beds were made up, I think their bedrooms were sort of starting to come together. But yeah, we just, in the end, I went to bed when the removal men were still there. I said, you're just going to have to let yourself out.
No way. That's so
I just couldn't function anymore. I was laying down sort of 20 past 10 texting my friend, I don't know what to do. I just need them to go.
Because that's the beauty when you get a moving company, they put your bed up and things, don't they?
Yes.
That's like, imagine you have to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
that's
first
really
thing you
important.
always do, isn't it, is
Beds.
Yeah.
book
Yes.
your bed
Sort
and
of
make your
bed.
bed while you've got the energy.
Yeah.
For anyone listening that doesn't know that,
Yes.
make your bed first.
Yeah.
And then I think my mum always used to then go to the kitchen. So then they have to do a big clean because they've not found the property in the state they hoped to. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine was really organised, booked a cleaner for her day one. So the cleaner went in while they were unloading. And I'm like, that
amazing.
is brilliant.
That is
so
a
they
great
cleaned the
idea.
fridge, cleaned the oven, gave everywhere a clean before everything started getting unpacked.
But in the
which I thought
same
was good.
token as that, when I moved, had a delivery of my Tesco's order.
Oh, very good.
9 o'clock at night, because I had a 9-month-old baby.
Yeah.
So I didn't have someone pack up my house. I did the packing. I had a delivery company, but I did the packing. And I'd labelled everything per box and then what room that number goes in.
Oh, that's
And then
good.
as they were delivering, I was unpacking. So when my daughter arrived, she had a full fridge and a house that resembled a house.
Yeah.
That's
Just because
good.
my OCD would not allow.
Yeah, but that's good tip.
Yeah.
So colour coding your
Colour coding,
boxes if you are packing yourself,
And
colour
numbering.
coding and numbering your boxes.
And then the delivery knew which room to go in.
Yeah.
And did you detox on the way in? I always think that must be a good idea.
I detox all times. If it's not got a purpose in my house, it's in the bin.
Oh, you're not a hoarder.
No.
So your removal process was not maybe as arduous as some people who have hoarded.
It's
lots
a
of
really good
years of
opportunity
memories.
to get rid of stuff, isn't it? Because it's almost like if I keep it, I've got to bring it with me, and this is all part of my work. So let's leave it. Let's leave it because it makes it easier. When we moved, my son was 3, and he was looked after by my parents, and then my only focus the next day was to make his room okay. It just really felt like that was the right thing to do. And then when he came home, he had a bedroom, and that was all exciting. The rest of the house could kind of wait.
That's nice. That's lovely. Okay, so we've got a viewer question. So what happens if the funds don't arrive until late afternoon? Can the seller refuse to leave until those funds arrive?
Yeah, legally. Yeah.
Okay, so they can legally refuse because until their solicitor confirms they've received the money, it's still their home.
Exactly, yeah.
And often you're giving the keys to estate agents, and they're the ones passing it over, not necessarily meeting the people involved in the chains as well. So they won't hand them over until it's all confirmed.
So I think people watching the show just need to be aware that there is going to be a delay, and especially for first-time buyers, because they wouldn't be told this necessarily, along with all the other things first-time buyers don't know, that they are going to be waiting for multiple chains, and they're going to be eager, aren't they? Waking up that day, they're just going to want to get there.
I was going to say it depends where you are in the chain, of course. So if you're at the bottom, first-time buyer, the likelihood is yours is going to complete more quickly than the top of the chain.
Yes.
So I was position 4 out of 8 this time. So yeah, a late afternoon completion. Both me and the owner sitting in the pub, sort of waiting. So just waiting to exchange keys, and we actually exchanged keys in the pub because we were both there. So
that's good.
So that was quite nice.
If you are a first-time buyer or you are buying without a chain, I think a really good tip might be that you don't intend to sleep there or move everything in straight away, and you actually gift yourself, whether it's a bit of extra time in your rental or somewhere else, whether you're living with your parents, where the intention is to get the keys and complete, but don't live there. Give yourself a couple of days, because you're the only time in your life you're going to ever have that luxury.
It was, and that's exactly what both my moving days have been like, purely because we didn't sell the flat for the second move. But both of them have been, it's going to be very different when I move now, isn't it? Because both of them got there, just embraced it, had the fish and chips on the floor. I don't know, I think someone I knew did it, and that was it. I was like, that's what I'm doing. That's what you do as a grown-up.
That's the thing. Like, I definitely, I don't even eat fish and chips generally, but that's a moving day thing.
Yeah, I wonder where it comes from.
It must be in a moving,
It must be, mustn't it? But yeah, and then we moved in the next day and did it as a whole big family affair and just had it as a really lovely day. So they taught me how to do it their way. So to me, moving day is this really exciting thing. But of course, things can go wrong, and I haven't experienced that myself, but I've learned that through my job. So let's just quick fire round. What are some of the things that can go wrong? So we've talked about delayed funds, sellers not being packed. So the funds are there and they're like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've had that as well, actually, on my last house. Yeah, there was still stuff all on the driveway. They were sort of out of the house, but they were like dragging stuff out as we were arriving. Yeah, and then they said, oh, we'll have to come back, I think, then next week and get that. So, yeah.
No.
Like, well, this is technically my house now, so can you take it now? You know.
Removals vans waiting for hours.
And the cost.
Yeah, and the cost increases.
Houses left unclean, keys being held back. Is that because of the estate agents' closing times, do you think? A chain being installed by a single missed email, or a solicitor going quiet at a crucial moment. We've all had that.
Yeah, I had that personally as well. On my moving day, I had to go down to my solicitors to sign the deed because she hadn't realised I didn't have it. You know, and then there was a whole issue with the funds, the transfer of funds, where she asked me for a lot more money than I was anticipating on completion day. And I'd been asking her all week, what's going on? What money do you need? And yeah, so I was on my last nerve on moving day, leaving the removal guys, going down to the solicitors, signing paperwork, and just. Yeah, hence why I ended up in the pub at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, just swapping the keys yourself and going to bed at 10:30.
And that's made me think of something as well. When you're transferring funds, like making sure you've spoken to the solicitor well in advance, as providing they're giving you the right, right information. Because some savings accounts can have like 60, 90 days where you have to release. Imagine being asked, we're going to do this in 2 weeks,
with a client.
and then
But this happened to me. Yeah, so I had some money I could have moved, but it was going to take 3 working days. So, and I was asked that morning. So
that's wow.
Bank of Mum, there she comes. Thank you, Mum.
Yeah, no, and we have had that with a client that we were working with. What's one tip you think makes moving day smoother for our viewers?
The packing service, don't go without it. You know, I just think, look at it more broadly. Even if it was going to cost you £1,000 more, if your house was going to be £1,000 more, would you still have bought it? The answer's probably going to be yes. So just chalk it down to that and just get on with it. But it'll be a godsend.
I quite like doing it myself, in all honesty, but I made sure that we packed both the cars with stuff I needed instantly. So we made the beds up, like the quilts, I left it all piled up, so I knew as soon as them beds went up, that was on. Yeah. And I did love my food delivery.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I love that. Yeah. I've got some tips here from my friend, ChatGPT, that I think it's important to share as well. So pack a survival box, chargers, snacks, toilet roll, wipes, pyjamas, mugs, kettle, things that you think you're definitely going to need on the day. Keep all important documents with you. So passports, things that you're going to be having to rummage in a box for at some point, or your birth certificate, keep them with you. Label boxes like Jade. Don't schedule your broadband installation or deliveries for the same day. This was me as a first-time buyer. Expect delays and emotionally prepare for them, and keep cleaning products at the top of a box or in the car. Yeah. And don't book anything for the evening. You will be exhausted. I think it did very, very well there. Yeah. Okay, so to wrap up the episode, you've moved in. The part people don't talk about is the emotional crash that hits after moving. So I talk about the vulnerability hangover, the adrenaline hangover. It sounds like there's also a moving hangover. You finally get in, you feel joy, but you actually do feel flat, overwhelmed and anxious in the days that follow or the weeks that follow. And you don't realise it's because you've been in survival mode for weeks. It's actually very normal, and your system is actually trying to slow down and ground. So what do you think would help people feel grounded after moving to try and deal with that? So they know it's normal. What is the ways they can help themselves?
Oh, I'm hoping people are going to tell me, because I think I'm still in that.
I would say you're overwhelmed because there's loads of things that you're looking around and thinking, I either want to do that or need to do that. Also, the changing your name and address on all these documents, that's really arduous and can be quite overwhelming. So you're overwhelmed for good reason, because there's lots of things. So as with anything, you've got to prioritise and take it one step at a time, and let's not chase perfection. Let's just get something done and what needs to be done first.
Okay, good.
Thank you. That triggered me and healed me at the same time.
Well, that
All
shows
in a
it's
day's
real.
work.
Yeah, it really is.
Real.
It really is.
And I haven't heard it being mentioned before, but actually I do think it's very real and it isn't talked about. So.
No, and I've had to cut myself some slack here. And my children called me out. They said, "Mum, you are just..." I couldn't even describe it. They said, because I'm just flat out all the time doing everything. So I've gifted myself a couple of months just to be and live in the home and ignore the tatty floors and the shoddy walls and try my best just to rebalance my internally before then I take on the project, of everything that I want to do. So yeah, I definitely feel this, and I'm trying to be kind to myself and also show others. So, I went out for lunch with someone yesterday and I told her that she was doing it, and I said I can only see it because I'm doing it too, so very normal.
We're now moving, pardon the pun, into a very different conversation.